Hi, Anat. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me here. Yes, so I'm licensed clinical social worker. I live in San Diego. I work in a big company. It's a kind of startup company that provide mental health services to people that works in a lot of different companies. It can be in hospitals, in Starbucks, coffee shops, schools, and big tech companies. Um, they allow to reach out and they have this under their benefits and they can receive mental health services, which is amazing. It's totally free.
Amazing. It sounds so good that a lot of people can benefit from this. And can you tell me maybe what is the population that you mostly see that come to the services and receive the treatments?
Yeah, so my population is very diverse. The one thing that is common to all of them that they all have a job. It can be in again big tech, school, college, coffee shop. I work with it can be from 18 years old kid that just in college, and his mom is working in a big tech company, and he used this benefits. To I have a client who is 66 years old woman. I like a lot.
Wow.
And she worked for the last 15 years in the same company, and she used this benefit for her own well-being. So it's very, very diverse. So that's what I love. It can be a coffee shop, it can be something waiters, it can be a teacher in school. Even I have. It's really cool. So I love the diversity.
What mostly the issue that you see that people come with?
So usually I specialize in anxiety and depression, but it's very, very wide range. I think the most core problem that people come with is I'm not good enough. It can go to a lot of different directions. It can go to the imposter syndrome that we can talk about more. It can go to perfectionism. It can go to public speaking or other social anxiety tendencies. And each one of them, they can combine each other and they can also be as is, just standalone.
Wow. And actually, when people come to you and they actually know already that this is the problem, this is the issue, that I'm not good enough, or you, during the process of treatment that you offer, you can actually relate to this and understand that this is their issue at the core of their experience. Yeah.
Yeah, I think most people are not aware of it, and we found out together during our therapy process which specific core belief they have, which one they want to change, which one they want to keep. Obviously, most of the negative core belief we try to change and challenge, and usually people find out that it's not true, and it's based on something very, very that happened to them very, very young, when they were very, very young as kids, with their parents, with their surroundings, something that they just even observe, not something that in per se happened to them, something they watch, and an event and catastrophic that they watch that was present in their life that affect them in that way. And I want to say that it's very, very sad that a lot of people needs to live with this kind of core belief, I'm not enough. Because if most of us feel I'm not enough, so what is it enough? And what does it mean about the world that we live in today?
But why mostly do you think, like, let's say people who didn't experience any traumas in their childhood or any something really like specific as a trauma, but they grew up in a normal house and they normal parents, and they still may feel not enough. So why do you think that is?
So I will go a little bit deeper to the trauma definition, because I believe, I don't know if you're familiar with it, there is big T, big trauma, and small t trauma. So the big T trauma is like you said, sexual abuse, physical abuse, neglect, all of these kind of big events that happen. It can be one, it can be recurrent event. And the small t's, what I see that it's very common nowadays is, even if something that was supposed to happen and didn't happen. This is a small t trauma. So for example, I have a sister, I have a young sister. She's 6 years younger than me. And I know that the minute she was born, my parents have to put all their attention towards her because she was born with a lot of challenges. So you can say they neglected me, but I don't see it that way. I see it, okay, they have to do it. They're the parents, they need to take care of her. But when a child lives as a child, he lives their life without their parents giving them enough attention. They don't see them. They don't take care of their emotional needs. It can be a small t trauma.
So you believe that, and I also actually believe that emotional part of us, it's a very integrated part and very important. And it leads us through our life, and everything related to it. It's actually the expression of our emotions eventually. And can you give us maybe some examples of tools you can give us to overcome this not enoughness, maybe in our daily routine?
I'm not good enough. So it's a long process in therapy. And in this process, you reveal it, first of all, right? You need to increase awareness to this core belief, because if not, we can't change it. So during the process of revealing it and understand why we feel the way we feel about ourselves, and we go back to the past, understand what happened back there that caused us to live with this core belief until today, then we start to challenge it and see, okay, let's see, what does it mean to be not enough person? How do I see other people in my life that I think they're enough? And do I know other people that I think they're not enough? And we start exploring this, all this concept of enoughness. And when people start to think about it, they say, you know what? Maybe it's not true, right? Maybe I am enough. Maybe I am great. And I can say that this is the biggest challenge in therapy, to help people see their true self, see who they really are. Because when I meet people, most people are great, really. Most people are amazing, all the things that they're doing, and they're really interesting. I enjoy the conversation with them. So I repeat this sentence a lot, and I tell them, I wish you could see yourself in the mirror as you really are, right? As other people see you. And actually, this is one of the practices I give to people. I tell them, go to 3 good friends, not family, 3 good friends that know you really well, and ask them to write to you, for good and bad, how they see you, who you are as a person, with the pros and cons. We all have them. And I think this is a very powerful exercise to do.
Wow, it's amazing. I really love it. And this is powerful tool, because then you really know who are you? Because people who are close to you, not the family, but that they are close enough for you, they can actually identify what are your weaknesses, what are your strengths, and usually you cannot see it by yourself. And it's also one of the things that I also guide people, and I actually heard another psychologist talking about it, talking to yourself like you would talk to your best friend. It's also one of the things that's amazing. And this is like, for me, it's the same, to ask your best friends, who am I? How do I appear in the world? It's beautiful.
So it's great that you mention it, because this is exactly what I say to people. One of the exercises I love to give to people during this process when they're ready is to write a self-compassion letter to themselves. And so many people struggle with that. And the minute I say, I show them the letter and the steps, and I tell them, that's what you need to do. And I see the anxiety in their body. And I tell them, you know what? Don't write it to yourself. Write it to your best friends. Take your best friend, put the best friend in your shoes and write it to them. And it's such a relief. It's such a relief to people. And it's amazing to see how we can make this small switch in our mind and how powerful it is. And also when people, they share with me all these negative thoughts they have, and we challenge them. And when I ask them, would you say it to your best friend in this situation? That's what you want to tell her? Maybe she messed up something at work. Maybe she failed at a project. That's what you're going to tell her? That she's not enough, that she's stupid, that she could do better? And that's so powerful to people to realize, why am I talking to myself like that?
She won't stay her or his best friend if they will talk this way to the people, you know. And this is what we need to realize, that we are really hard on ourselves more than we are hard on others. And I today I also see people that when they are really rude to each other, first of all, they need to point to themselves. There's a lot of phrases about this. First, they need to look deeper inside. And this is like, I loved what you said earlier. It actually was one of my questions to you, which I really was curious about. What is the biggest challenge? And you said it already, to see the person from inside, to look inside, to look inward. This is one of the challenges, because we are not, this is not the way we are actually grew up.
Right.
We're supposed to see the environment, to give power to environment. And this is not the intention of our parents, but this is what we grew up to. And to know that if we not please the environment, we are not doing something wrong.
Yeah.
And
a lot
this
of
is
people pleasers out there.
Yes. Can you tell me how you keep yourself balanced? What is your daily routine, maybe morning routine?
Wow. So I need to be on top of it. I mean, I work with people all day back to back. It's really hard and consuming, and I love it. So I need to put my self-care very high in my priorities. When I wake up in the morning, I try to take a few minutes to myself, to take just deep breath. While I'm in bed, I have two young boys. The minute I'm out in the house, they're all over me. They want my attention. So I try to take these few minutes in bed to myself, preparing my kids to school, obviously, take them to school and start my day 8 a.m. I start my meetings back to back until noon. Then I try to have like a block of 1 hour lunch, go to the park, recharge myself with some mindfulness, or just observe and clean my brain. Then I come back and a few more sessions until I need to bring my kids from school. But I must say that, this is the usual routine, but I spice my week with things that I'm not willing to let go, things that makes me feel good, that recharge me. And this would be my physical exercise, meeting with friends, and going outside. I believe that just going outside, leave the house, and I can say that I feel it since I had babies, since my kids were babies, I can feel it, that the minute I go outside, I can breathe. I feel like, that's great to be under the sky. So I try to go outside as much as I can, if it's exercise or just for a walk, just around the block. I think it's very, very helpful for me and for other people too. I know it works for them. Obviously, sleep is very, very important for me too. I make sure to be in bed by 9:30. I mean, I can't do over 9:30. I know it's late, it's early for some people, but that's how my body works. I need that sleep. I need to rewind. I need this quiet time before I'm able to fall asleep. Obviously, healthy food, to eat healthy food. And I work with so many people. I see how meaningful and important it is for well-being. Eat a healthy food. Take care of yourself. Nutrition yourself with good things that, you can't put water in a car and expect it will run smoothly, right? It won't. So make sure to give yourself the right nutritions to work out and continue with your day.
I love this talk. You know why? Because you read my mind. Every time I have a question, you already answer my question.
Okay, that's good.
And I love it. I actually want to ask you too. You already touched on this issue, but the self-care, how is it important? I want to emphasize this. How is it important to overcome our anxiety, to self-care in our daily routine?
Wow, I can't talk enough about it. It's so important. And it's related also to the other thing we discussed before, that, a lot of people want to, and me too, I want to make sure that all of my family are taken care of. I want to make sure that my kids getting enough time with me and my husband get enough time with me and my family, I talk enough time with them and my friend. And what about me? Where am I? I need time too. I need quiet time. I need time without anybody wants something from me. I need time to focus on myself. And I mean, it's something that is very, very basic for me, that I fight to have it every day. It's a big challenge. I know for other people too. For me, it's a big challenge to make sure I receive this time during the day. Sometimes, you know, I need to close the door and tell my kids in my head, I'm not working, but I need the time to myself. And that's okay. I'm not doing anything. I'm not in front of screens. I just need quiet for a few minutes that I can come back and be with you. I need it for myself.
But you know, it's I know a lot of people which I also coach, and it was hard for myself as well to do nothing.
Yes.
How do you overcome this, let's say, weakness in yourself to do nothing, just to sit and do nothing, just to listen to yourself, to be there? And why is it important?
Yeah, so you're totally right. It's very hard because we used to do, right? To do things all the time. And if we're not doing so, what are we doing if we're not doing? I mean, you're not, you know, you're not using your time if you're not doing something. So I find it very helpful for me to practice mindfulness. So maybe I am doing without doing something, right? I am doing something. I'm practicing mindfulness. And I love, you know, there's a few apps that I love to use that helps me do nothing while I'm doing something. I also love, I have a few exercises, mindfulness exercises that help me, again, do nothing while I'm doing something. And this exercise helped me focus on myself and ground myself in the present moment. And it's very quick. It doesn't have to take half an hour to do that. A few minutes out of your day can go a long way. That can really support your well-being.
Yeah, and do you see any connection between this quiet time and your productivity?
For sure. Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's easier for me to focus when I take the time, this, you know, do nothing time. It's easier for me to be present with my clients when I do it. It's easier for me to be present with my kids. I'm not feeling like exhausted all the time. I feel like I have the mental capacity to deal with the world.
Amazing. Anat, it is amazing what you're sharing with us, and I'm sure a lot of people will benefit from this talk. I do want to know what future holds for Anat, and also ways to connect with you.
Wow, it's a great question. From one hand, I'm trying to live in the present and focus, you know, and be grateful for what I have now. But I always ask myself, you know, in the back of my mind, so what I'm gonna do next? What my next step, you know? And I'm going back to my clients. A lot of people share with me, you know, we have some kind of trail that we're in school, then we're going to college. You know, in Israel it's a little bit different, but let's say in US, school, finish school, we need to work very hard to have high scores in high school, great grades, to do all the things outside of it, to get to a great college. And then we get to a college, put a lot of work to get, again, high grades, graduate. Then we find a great job that will help us to live this world the way we want to. And then what? And then what? Okay, I got the job. I got my dream job. Now what? And a lot of people hit the wall at that point and say, okay, but what's next? What's next? I don't know. I mean, yeah, I can maybe work to be a manager, but maybe I don't want to be a manager. I'm not sure about that. So it's first time someone asked me this question, right? And asked me, okay, what do you want to do? So I have so many ideas in my head. I can tell you that one thing that this is what I want to do. I'm really happy where I am. I'm really happy with the company I work in. And if I can continue and grow in my company that I work in and contribute from my knowledge and support other clinicians and other therapists in their job, that would be great. So there you go. That's my goal. I would like to provide consultation to other clinicians. I think that would be my goal. Another goal that I'm trying to work towards, and I'm driving my company crazy about it, is expand their services to Israel and work with people in Israel, and hopefully they can benefit from the mental health services that my company provide, which I think is amazing.
Sounds amazing, amazing. And I had to ask those questions as a success coach. So the goals, even though, yeah, we need to stop, but we also want to know what are our next step, at least next step. Yeah, sometimes we need bigger goals, sometimes we need smaller goals, but we want to know that we are moving, expanding, growing. And but like you said, don't forget to stop and just to be present with yourself and to recharge. It's amazing to see the process, and I'm really grateful, really grateful for having you here. And if people want to connect with you, what are the ways to connect with you?
So I don't have a private practice. So if people, if they have the Lyra benefits where they work, they can definitely reach out and come to therapy with me under their benefits. It's something that everybody welcome to do. I open for new clients. They'll be happy to speak and provide care, whoever needs to.
Thank you so much, Anat. It was a pleasure to having you in this talk, and I really appreciate everything about you and the great example that you in this world and the positive vibes that everybody around you feel. And I'm really proud to call you my friend. Thank you for being here and giving us all the tools, wonderful tools.
Thank you very much, Margarita. I appreciate the time, and I'm really grateful for this conversation and for you as my friend.
Thank you, Anat.
Thank you.